Hi there, welcome to No Nonsense Whisky. My name's Vin PF and on today's episode we're heading back to Loch Lomond and this time we're checking out the Inchmurrin 12-year-old. Now I will say at the top of the show, these guys sent this over to me for review, mainly as a little bit of a treat because this recently won an award at the IWSC for Best Whisky Under 15 Years. So what they were doing is kind of putting together a little celebration about that and offering some bottles out to people like myself. So yeah, absolutely jumped at the chance to get hold of that. But it was in no way in exchange for review, but obviously, you know me, if a whiskey comes in, it's going to get reviewed, so whatever. But yeah, I'm here to talk about it today. So yeah, we've got here Loch Lomond, Inchmurrin 12-year-old. Now, it's different from kind of normal Loch Lomonds, let's say. These guys have got so many different kinds of stills. This is specifically selected from their straight neck pot stills. There's a little, I should throw up an image really, but that's the kind of image that you're looking at there. See the little gold label there, which is, I mean, they call it unique. So it's basically a mixture of a pot still and a column still in one go, which is pretty interesting. And the diversity that Loch Lomond can produce is unreal. You know, I mean, I've covered quite a few Loch Lomonds recently, especially with the Aquavitae bottlings that have been coming out, and always impressed with what Loch Lomond are doing, especially for the price. Now we'll get into that a little bit later on, but this is 35 quid online right now. Don't know what it'll be, localities or whatever. You might be able to find it cheaper, more expensive, I don't know. 46%. The other thing to note as well is that plastered all over it is non-chill filtered, but I can't find the words natural colour. Doesn't mean to say that it isn't, but it's worth noting that I don't know is for sure. You know, again, as always, I probably could have emailed Michael Henry and he probably could have clarified for me, but I prefer not to do that. I don't want to lean on him too much, and ideally it would be on the box or the label is all I tend to say. A couple of little stats about this then. So apart from the fact that it's made in the specific still, it's aged in 3 different types of bourbon cask. So we've got it says bourbon, refill and recharred, whatever those mean. So, you know, I imagine one of them's first fill. I imagine a couple has been reconditioned. I don't know, man. That's the information I got. Best thing to do then is probably just get straight into it and check it out, right? So we will talk about colour a little bit. It's because, as far as I'm aware, I think most, if not all, of Loch Lomond's products are natural colour. But again, just a shame not to see it on the box, really. So yeah, it's got a decent colour to it. Decent colour. Let's get into the nose. Now, straight away, this has got a really interesting nose, I think. It's almost like it's got a, I liken it to be a kind of waxiness, but it kind of manifests itself as a little bit of kind of peach, I think, for me, which is very interesting. Really lovely nose. It's one of those whiskies that I could just smell all day. Beautiful. Let's try on the palate. Yeah, exactly that. Like the first part of the palate, very cask driven. You know, with the bourbon casks, you're bound to get the normal things like, you know, vanillas, honeys, butterscotch, that sort of thing. All quite normal. It's towards the back end where this waxiness comes in. There's only a few distilleries that I really get that from. Stuff like Clynelish and Linkwood, that kind of thing. And these guys now. You get this kind of waxiness, but you get that fruity element like the nice peaches and apricots that I was talking about earlier. They're definitely coming through, making it a very, very, very good whiskey. Which is, yeah, just lovely. I mean, I can see why it won the award. Absolutely fabulous whiskey. And if we go back and start talking about the price again, 35 quid. Now, I say quite a lot on this channel. You know, prices are creeping up over and over again. We constantly have to change our opinion about what good value means to us as individuals, as whiskey drinkers, as collectors, that sort of thing. You know, obviously, you should never spend more than, if you think it's too much money, it probably is the truth behind that. There are some, you know, caveats to that. Obviously, sometimes it's difficult and more expensive to make whiskey in a certain way. If you want something interesting, you've got to pay a bit of a premium, blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Loch Lomond consistently putting out good quality whiskey for what I would consider to be undervalued. This could, I mean, Loch Lomond, if you're listening, put your fingers in your ears, this could probably sell for 45 quid and people would be happy. Please don't do that. Please keep it at 35 as long as you can, if you can. But 35 quid is an absolutely stunning no-brainer value. Absolutely no-brainer value. In fact, I'm even loath to say that this would be a guard whiskey because it fits the bill perfectly. It's readily available. It's relatively cheap. You wouldn't worry too much about replacing it. But it tastes so good that it probably shouldn't be a guard whiskey. It probably should be in something that needs to be protected by something a little bit cheaper. I don't know. That's just what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. I can't really be any more enthusiastic about this whiskey, I don't think. It's an absolutely fabulous whiskey for its price point, for its interesting characteristics. It's very different to other things that I've got on my shelf, for sure. Like I said, I could just smell it all day. I think we've got to the point where you pretty much got to buy it, right? If you're interested in this sort of thing, I would just jump at it, especially if you see it for on deal. Heaven forbid it should be any cheaper than it already is. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this one. Massive amounts of you must have tried this and have had it in your collection at some point. Probably loads of you have got it in your collection already right now, maybe even acting as a guard whiskey. But join the conversation below. Let's have a little chat about it and we'll see what you think. But yeah, absolutely brilliant whiskey. One that I don't replace whiskies very often, but this one might get replaced when it goes, and I think it's probably going to go pretty quick. In any case, I'll say cheers, and I'll see you again on more videos soon.